Hello and welcome you crazy people, my name is Jay and the news today is that Jeffrey Bard, the lead game designer at Intrepid Studios, the company that is making Ashes of Creation, is leaving. Now that's obviously not good news if you want consistency in your game development, but I think like the response on Reddit is perhaps a bit of an overreaction. Some people saying it's like dead and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll go through the news and then, we'll talk about it very briefly. So just to show you what's going on, there was a message to the community just last night. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I think it's pretty boring, but it's bittersweet farewell to Jeffrey Bard, as they say there. He was the lead game designer. Stephen is going to be taking up some of the responsibilities in the short term. I suspect they're just going to spread out their responsibilities in the short term before they replace them. And Jeff, seems to give his well wishes, and it seems amicable with his departure to a different company. And the company is going to, I'm not 100% sure what it is. It's a big company, but they have like a VR game development side of things, and that's something that Jeffrey obviously wants to go and do. And Jeffrey, I think he worked on EverQuest and stuff like that in the past, but you might recognize his picture. If you do, I recognize him from the live streams, etc. So yeah, he's leaving, that's it. Now there's two ways you can respond to this. I think like a sensible person, or like a bit over dramatic. Some people, and I'm not gonna call out their names, or sort of I'm here, aren't I? But the game is DOA, it's a scam MMO, very bad sign, etc. So some people are like, this guy's like MMO hate. Yeah, some people have a reaction that's perhaps a little bit dramatic, but it is undeniable in a sense that if your lead game designer is leaving, it's going to raise questions. And I think that's fair. It's fair to ask those questions, but we have to be reasonable in the concepts and reasons that this might have happened. He might just think that this is his dream job to go do VR games, etc. And he might be perfectly happy, excited to go ahead and do that. What this might not be, is that he hates Intrepid and he thinks it's going to fail and it's a complete, he thinks it's a complete disaster. There's no real evidence of that. This is just one person leaving a company who's making a game. Now, yes, on the scale of concerns, it sort of starts raising one, but we would need to see multiple people leave once they've left and they're not under contract, maybe badmouth the company and stuff like that. Really, until we see that kind of evidence, I don't think it's necessarily anything to be too concerned about. The game is many years away anyway. If you're expecting an MMO that's going to be finished in a year or two, you're, I think, going to be very sadly mistaken. This game is probably 2 to 4 years away at minimum, let's face it. So yes, if your lead game designer leaves, sure, that is not good. You've got a big hole to fill, big shoes to fill. You've got to replace them. You've got to take up the responsibilities in the short term. He's obviously one of the lead figures there. That's obviously not good in any project. If one of your main people leave, you've got issues, but those issues are generally just resolvable in the short term. People are acting like this is the death of the game, and it's oh, how could, if he's leaving, that's a terrible sign. He must think that the company's terrible and stuff like that. There's just not enough evidence to really suggest that that is the case here. So that's it. There isn't really anything to add. Depending on how you think about it, I think we all need to be a bit more reasonable here and say it's a mild concern, but let's just hope that they can, one, replace him significantly and sufficiently so that they don't have a big blip in the development of the game, and two, that it isn't a sign of anything more serious, an underlying problem, which there's no evidence really to say that it would be at the minute. Have a most beautiful day. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.